Welcome to my channel. If you want more stories, you can like or comment. When the door closed, only the two of them remained, Elena and Daniel. Both were married, both risked losing everything, yet their hearts had no control over their desires. For anyone witnessing that moment, it seemed like just a fleeting glance, a brief touch, but it was the turning point in their lives. Elena appeared to have a perfect marriage from the outside. Beautiful, elegant, and respected. Her husband, Adrian, was a successful businessman, a man admired and feared in equal measure. Yet, no one knew that behind the crowded dinner tables, a deep loneliness lingered. Daniel's life wasn't any different. Married to Sophia, who seemed gentle and compliant in public, but their relationship had become a routine void of passion over the years. Daniel looked like the perfect family man on the outside, but inside, he was yearning for a spark he had long lost. And then these two people, Elena and Daniel, found each other. At first, it was just fleeting coincidences, sitting at the same table, sharing the same conversation, exchanging subtle glances. Nobody noticed, but a secret was growing in their eyes. But the most shocking part wasn't their love. It was how it started. When Elena was alone with Daniel for the first time, her heart raced. It wasn't just forbidden excitement. It was the feeling of truly being alive again. Daniel felt the same way. Elena's presence made him feel young and free again. But there was one thing they both knew. Every meeting, every whisper, every message brought them one step closer to being caught. Their secret love began with small moments, then long conversations, eventually forming an unbreakable bond. Yet as the love grew, so did the lies. Elena lied to her husband. Daniel lied to his wife. Meetings, business trips, friend gatherings, each lie added weight to their shoulders. And they didn't know this. Every secret eventually leaves a trace. The first day was just a short coffee break. In a crowded cafe, they appeared as two people sitting side by side. But in reality, they were hiding so much from each other. Elena's hands trembled. She hadn't felt anyone look at her this way in years. Daniel couldn't take his eyes off her. "We shouldn't be doing this," Elena whispered, her voice barely audible. "I know," Daniel replied, "but it feels impossible not to." She laughed softly, but behind that laugh was guilt. And that very laugh sparked a fire inside Daniel he thought had long died out. Their meetings grew bolder. Sometimes a hotel outside the city, sometimes a deserted park at midnight. Each time their hearts pounded faster. Elena made up excuses about work meetings for her husband. Daniel lied about late office hours to his wife. Yet the real danger was the possibility of being discovered. Adrian, Elena's husband, noticed every detail. The change in her perfume, her late nights, the gleam in her eyes. Nothing escaped him. Sophia, Daniel's wife, was quiet but suspicious. She had begun to notice subtle signs, small but unsettling, and they hadn't seen the biggest surprise yet. One evening, Elena met Daniel for a secret dinner. Under the dim lights of the restaurant, they dared not touch too much, but the fire in their eyes betrayed them. Daniel whispered, "We can't keep living like this, Elena." Elena's lips quivered. "Then what do we do? Leave everything behind?" The thought of leaving terrified them both. Leaving meant abandoning not just their spouses, but their families, their careers, their entire lives. At that moment, the restaurant door opened. Elena's heart skipped. The person entering was her husband's closest friend. In a split second, Elena hid her hands under the table. Daniel acted as if they were just talking about work, but their emotions betrayed them. And at that moment, the first crack in their secret began to show. The next day, Adrian came home early. He intended to surprise Elena. What he saw shocked him. Elena whispering on the phone. She froze when she noticed him. Adrian didn't say a word, but Elena could see the suspicion in his eyes. Meanwhile, Sophia noticed a strange scent on Daniel's shirt, and in the quiet nights, she sometimes heard him murmuring a name. Eleanor. Their secret was fragile, and danger was closing in. You haven't seen the biggest shock yet, because the storm was only just beginning. From that moment on, nothing was the same. Their love was no longer just excitement. It was shadowed by the constant fear of being discovered. Elena could see it in Adrian's eyes. He wasn't asking questions, but his silence was more terrifying than words. Adrian was strong, a man who didn't need to speak to make his presence felt. Every time he looked at her, Eleanor felt exposed. Her heart was torn between passion and fear. Daniel's situation was equally tense. Sophia seemed calm on the surface, but her quiet observations spoke volumes. The glances she gave him were enough to unsettle him. Every small absence, every unexplained message was like a ticking time bomb. One night, Elena and Daniel met at a secluded house outside the city. They locked the doors, drew the curtains tight. Elena whispered, "I think Adrian suspects something. Any moment he could find out." Daniel took her hands and tried to calm her. "Relax. If he knew everything, he would have acted already. Maybe it's just paranoia." But both of them knew deep down, it was no longer paranoia. You won't believe it, but that night would be one of the most pivotal moments in their lives. As they embraced, there was a sudden knock at the door. Both froze. Elena's heart raced. Daniel cautiously peeked through the curtain. It was a delivery man. Just a wrong package, nothing more. But the moment stayed with them. Every knock, every unexpected sound, became a symbol of imminent danger. From that night on, they tried to be more careful. But could they really? Their forbidden love was growing stronger, making distance impossible. Elena felt alive in Daniel's arms, and Daniel felt free again. The thrill was irresistible. Adrian began secretly checking Elena's phone. She deleted messages, but Adrian was clever. He noticed the gaps, the missing timestamps, the slight inconsistencies. Sophia, meanwhile, decided to follow Daniel discreetly. First, she noted his work hours, then tracked where he parked his car. One night, Daniel's car wasn't where it should have been. Sophia waited until dawn. When he returned, his shirt wrinkled, eyes exhausted. She said nothing, but she had already pieced the puzzle together. And that's when everything changed. Elena and Daniel now understood that the risk was no longer a possibility. It was a reality. Yet they couldn't stop. Every secret meeting, every stolen moment became essential to their survival and to their hearts. Elena asked Daniel that night, her voice trembling, "What if we get caught?" Daniel looked into her eyes steadily. "Then we take the consequences. Together." But deep down, both knew it wouldn't be that simple. Leaving meant abandoning not only their spouses, but also the life and security they had built. Meanwhile, unknown to them, Adrian had hired a private detective. Every detail of Elena's movements was being tracked. Sophia, on the other hand, continued her own surveillance of Daniel. And here, the real storm was only beginning. You haven't seen the biggest shock yet. By now, the betrayal was undeniable. Adrian's private detective had gathered enough evidence. Photos, surveillance, notes. Each image of Eleanor and Daniel together, from casual coffee dates to the secluded house outside the city, was another dagger in his mind. One evening, Adrian sat at the dining table, spreading the photos before him. Elena and Daniel in the cafe, holding hands at the park, even outside the secret house. Adrian's face hardened, and his silence screamed louder than any words could. "How could you do this to me, Eleanor?" He muttered to himself, rage simmering beneath his calm exterior. But Adrian did not act impulsively. He knew timing was crucial. Vengeance would be most effective when delivered with precision. Sophia, meanwhile, had found a key in Daniel's pocket, a key to the secret house. She didn't confront him immediately. Instead, she quietly entered the house, her heart racing. The scent of another woman lingered in the room. The bed bore the traces of their secret encounters. Sophia's hands shook, but her resolve solidified. It's not just betrayal, it's destruction, she whispered to herself. Elena and Daniel, blissfully unaware of how close danger was, continued to pursue their forbidden love. Every stolen moment, every secret whisper, strengthened their bond. Nothing can separate us, can it? Elena asked one night, her voice barely a whisper. No, never. I won't let go of you, Daniel replied. But fate had already drawn the lines. Adrian decided to confront Elena. Calm yet dangerous, he approached her one afternoon. Elena, is there something you want to tell me? Elena froze. Her hands trembled, eyes darting away. Not yet, but I will, she whispered. Adrian smiled coldly, an edge of menace in his voice. Not yet, but you will. The smile terrified Elena more than any words could. That same day, Sophia invited Daniel to dinner. Candles lit the table, the perfect setting, yet her eyes betrayed something far colder. After the meal, she leaned forward, voice icy. I want you to see something. She produced the key to the secret house. Daniel froze. Sophia continued. What house does this key open, Daniel? Daniel's throat tightened. Words failed him. Sophia's suspicions had been confirmed. Tears streamed down her face, but her rage remained sharp. You used me. You lied. And now, you'll feel the consequences. Adrian and Sophia now had the truth. But the most dangerous part, Elena and Daniel were still unaware of how much Adrian and Sophia knew.
One night, Elena whispered to Daniel at the secret house, if only everyone knew the truth. Maybe we'd be free. Daniel sighed. We can't. They'd destroy everything. You won't believe it, but the danger was closer than they ever imagined. Across the street, in the shadows, two figures watched them silently. Adrian and Sophia. No words, just dark, determined silhouettes. Adrian extinguished his cigarette, eyes fixed on the couple. The game is over, he whispered. That night, the secret house felt like a sanctuary and a trap. Elena and Daniel thought they were safe, wrapped in each other's arms, worlds away from everyone else. But outside, hidden in the shadows, Adrian and Sophia waited. Adrian's steps were silent, his presence deadly. Sophia's hands trembled, but her eyes blazed with determination. Are you ready? Adrian whispered. Sophia took a deep breath. Yes. It's time they learned the truth. They stepped into the light. Moonbeams revealed their silhouettes as they approached the house. Adrian kicked the door open with force. Elena and Daniel jumped back in shock. Elena's face went pale. Daniel's eyes widened. What? What are you doing here? Daniel stammered. Adrian's voice was cold, controlled. You tell me, what are you doing here? The room went silent. The tension was suffocating. Sophia stepped forward, her voice cutting through the air. You betrayed us. We saw everything. All the photos. All the lies. Elena's lips trembled. Sophia, please. It's not what you think. Adrian let out a harsh laugh. Not what we think? The photos don't lie. Neither do your hearts. Daniel tried to step forward. We love each other. It just happened. The words struck the room like a knife. Elena's tears fell freely. Sophia's gaze shifted to Elena. You too? After all this time, you betrayed me as well? Elena sobbed. I didn't mean to. I couldn't help my feelings. Adrian's anger boiled. He grabbed Daniel by the collar, slamming him against the wall. You would take my wife from me? Elena cried out, trying to intervene. Stop, Adrian, please! Sophia, standing in the corner, watched silently, her mind racing. Her eyes were not on Daniel, but on Elena. You, Elena, you smiled at me, acted as my friend, and now you've destroyed my life. Elena's voice was desperate. Sophia, I never wanted to hurt you. The room erupted in chaos. Shouts, tears, and heartbreak collided. After a tense few minutes, Adrian finally stepped back, releasing Daniel. His hand shook, but his voice was cold. This isn't over. Sophia's voice was equally sharp. Nothing will ever be the same again. They both left the room, slamming the door behind them. Elena and Daniel were left trembling, exhausted, broken. Elena buried her face in Daniel's chest. It's over. They know everything. Now what do we do? Daniel took a deep breath, steadying himself. There's no turning back. Either we face the consequences, or we run. The night outside was silent, but both knew the storm was far from over. You haven't seen the biggest twist yet, because the true danger was only just beginning. After that explosive confrontation, none of their lives would ever be the same. Adrian and Sophia returned home, silent, their minds racing with thoughts of vengeance. Adrian sat at the edge of the table, fists clenched. They destroyed my life. They took everything from me. They will pay, he muttered, his calm exterior barely hiding the storm inside. Sophia, her eyes red but sharp, spoke coldly. We don't act now. We wait. We strike where it hurts most. Their hearts. Adrian looked at her, intrigued. Go on. Sophia's lips curled into a calculated smile. They think love is their shield. We will show them it's a trap. We will tear them apart from within. The next day, Elena and Daniel hid in a small motel outside the city. They whispered about escape, planning a life far from the chaos they had caused. Elena's voice trembled. We can't stay here. Adrian, he'll come for us. Sophia, she won't forgive us. We have to leave. Daniel held her hands. We'll leave at dawn. We'll survive this. Together. Unbeknownst to them, Adrian had already set his plan in motion. He used connections to sabotage Daniel's job. The next morning, Daniel was fired. Sophia, too, quietly manipulated Elena's social circle, spreading subtle rumors and raising doubts. That night, Elena returned to the motel room to find an envelope. Inside was a note, written in Adrian's hand. I'm watching. You can run, but you can't hide. Elena's knees buckled. She clutched Daniel's arm. They found us. Daniel, we have to leave! Daniel gritted his teeth. Not yet. We can still make it if we act now. And this is where the real turning point begins. Dawn approached. Elena and Daniel packed hurriedly into their car. Rain poured down, drenching the streets as if reflecting their fear. Suddenly, 2 cars blocked their path. Headlights revealed Adrian and Sophia standing side by side. Elena panicked. No! They found us! Daniel's hands gripped the wheel. We're not done yet! Adrian stepped forward, brandishing a gun. Sophia's eyes were cold, unwavering. This ends here. You destroyed our lives. Now feel the consequences. Time seemed to slow. Elena clutched Daniel's hand. Daniel prepared to fight, but then, an unexpected turn. A gunshot rang out. Silence fell. It wasn't Adrian who had fired. It was Sophia. And her target was Adrian, not Daniel. Adrian's eyes widened in disbelief. Why? Sophia's voice was calm, terrifying. Not for you, Adrian. For the pain they caused. For the destruction. This ends now. Adrian collapsed. Elena and Daniel clung to each other, shock and relief washing over them. But Sophia still held the gun, her gaze now on Elena. Now it's your turn. You think you're free? You'll pay! Just as I did. The screen fades to black. The story ends here with a cliffhanger, leaving the fate of Elena and Daniel uncertain, and Sophia's true intentions shrouded in suspense.